YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Keezy. It ain't easy being Keezy, and in today's video, we're gonna talk about underappreciated streetwear brands. This is the part 2. If you didn't watch the part 1, I will link it below. But again, underappreciated streetwear brands of 2020, the add-on. Let's get it. Okay, so you guys and girls know the drill. I'm going to be going through my phone. I got a couple brands here. I almost got like 8 or 9 brands that I'm going to talk about here today. Just keep in mind, a majority of these brands, if not 80% of the brands that I'm going to talk about here today within streetwear, what have you, I actually have never heard of them. These came from comments from the last video, and or these are brands that people sent me through DM on Instagram. So again, I'm so new to it to a point where I heard of some of these like yesterday. All right, so if I get any of the information incorrect, it's not my fault. All right, I just heard about it. Also, I did want to say on the first video that we did for this, because this is the sequel, this is part 2. The first video that we did, I did get some information incorrect on some of the brands. It is what it is though. Sometimes you make these videos at like 2 in the morning. Right now it's already 2:30 a.m. Why am I making videos this late? I have no idea, but sometimes your mind races so fast, you end up editing it really quick and then putting it up and you already moving on to something else. So I don't always have time to go through every small little detail. But if I did miss something and I did get it incorrect, feel free to just comment below and we can converse there.
给大家一个概念，
一个概念，我在这里是多么渺小啊！
好小一个，它在这里。
Alright, the first brand we got up is actually called Future Made. Well, their Instagram is futuremade_studio. Now, I'm gonna say I'm pretty sure nobody that watches my channel knows Future Made, or maybe a couple of you do. I wouldn't say it's like grossly underrated, because I don't know how big this brand is in Asia. But this is another brand that comes from a YouTuber. So if anybody watches the YouTube channel Xiaopi Hai, it's a Mandarin name, I believe. Originally I thought the guy was from Malaysia, but I'm pretty sure he's actually just from either mainland China or what have you. But he ended up making this brand. I think that my first initial reaction to seeing the name Future Made, I don't know what it is with like Japanese and Asian streetwear, but they love to put the word made after a lot of things, because you have Future Made, you have human made, and then you have ready made. So like all 3 of those is something to do with made. And I don't know if human made came out before future made. I don't know if future made came out before human made, but they just seem to happen to be all on the eastern side of the world. I don't know what it is. Maybe there's going to be more brands in the West that start coming out with the word made afterwards. I will say that it flows really nice when you talk about it, like, oh, I'm wearing future made. It's like a, I don't know, the syllables make sense. Anyways, besides the name, of course, him being a YouTuber, I think he just hit over 100,000 subs on his YouTube channel. If you do happen to watch it, he only speaks in Mandarin, and then like every once in a while, much like a lot of people that are from China, they kind of like spit out like small English words here and there. But he also does, on some videos, give you some subtitles, and then also you can figure out how to get subtitles for his videos too. But also he's like a master editor and a master storyteller when it comes to his videos. Like, I can't even talk about it enough. He's like a, you know what he is when it comes to his channel? He is a Casey Neistat of streetwear YouTube. It's like sneakers streetwear YouTube, but it's not crazy hype stuff. So he doesn't talk about like the off-whites that come out. He doesn't talk about those kind of things. He does talk about collab sneakers and collab brands, but they're all within the realm of what he does. Much of his type of work actually kind of falls in the same category as Human Made, except like get rid of all the heart logos. Nigo's new brand, Human Made, has a whole bunch of like larger logos on the chest area, on the back and stuff like that, huge Lenderman jackets and what have you. But Future Made is kind of the same thing except blank. So if you're looking for like that Americana look, workwear / Americana, then Future Made is a really good brand to go to. I'm not going to say too much about it because obviously I'm going to link it here. You guys and girls can sift through it and see what you like about it. So let's go ahead and move on. Alright, so more vintage tees. I'm sure people want more homage vintage tees, right? So this next brand is called Old Time Snow. Alright, I have to intervene this really fast. I said that completely wrong. I said Old Time Snow. Don't listen to me, okay? It's Old Times Now. My dumbass was watching the footage. Realized I said it wrong. It's Old Times Now. Just correction. let's run back to the video now. But I thought this was interesting because the person that brought this up, his name is Diego. Shout out to Diego if you're watching this. I ended up bringing up Moreno Morwood in my last video, and I was kind of talking about how he's a really underappreciated like streetwear brand slash t-shirt brand. And then this person, Diego, recommended this page, which is pretty much the same thing. The only difference that I will say about these homage tees, which this is what it is, it's basically a lot of homage tees. You got like Young Thug, Migos, you got like NWA, 21 Savage, Snoop Dogg, all that kind of stuff. The only difference I would say compared to Moreno Morwood is that Moreno Morwood's graphics look bigger than this. They look like a hair bigger on like the left and right side and also the bottom. Like his graphics tend to, I guess maybe the screens that he uses are just like maybe a couple inches longer compared to these. That's not the case for all of them, but I think definitely does use some like smaller screens for some of the graphics, but still does a really good job too. Now I don't know if he does any back graphic. It looks like he doesn't, because all the photos on his Instagram right now are actually front graphics and nothing on the back, and that's also a big difference too. Moreno Morwood does the graphics on the back as well, like huge graphics on the back as well, which is a major plus because you kind of like, I don't know, sometimes I feel as if sometimes you put that much money into something, you get money back if you have like a crazier logo on it when it comes to like homage tees. As far as price point goes, I don't know, let's go ahead and check out their website right now. Their price pointing is $5 cheaper than Moreno Morwood. I believe Moreno's is 40 bucks, which is like really cheap. I mean, if you really think about it, when it comes to homage t-shirts and printing homage t-shirts, it's not cheap to make. I mean, people think like, oh, it's just a t-shirt. Like, no, like if you're doing screens, like if you're doing actual screens, imagine putting together a homage tee that has well over 18 colors in one graphic. Like, you have to pay per screen 18 times, let's say $2, $3, depending on where you're getting it done. It adds up per t-shirt. You're really not making that much after a while. Oh, and also a good thing to note about Old Time Snow is that if you go on their website right now, a lot of the t-shirts are available. Like you can just buy them right now. It's not something if you go to Moreno's or other websites with like actual vintage homage t-shirts, they're gonna be sold out because they only have like one left or what have you. If you go on here, it looks like they have a lot of the sizes left. They have a majority of the graphics that they actually show you on their Instagram, which is a big plus too. So you're not, you know, sifting through it on Grailed. So anyways, shout out to Diego for mentioning this one. I thought this one was pretty cool. Let's go ahead and move on.
I feel it. It means a lot. I'm serious. Facts. Like that's honestly crazy. Thank you, bro. Man.
Thank you. Yeah,
that's
of course. Like,
I think you might have drove the furthest to come here.
Right?
I don't think anyone else drove further.
We out here, you know.
That means a lot.
You gotta show love. First of all, it's from the Northwest, from Portland, obviously our neighbors. We're from Washington.
Yep.
And yeah, man, I'm just proud to see what you do, and like I'm glad to see the continued growth for sure.
Bro, it's crazy. Thank you for buying this too.
All right, Jacob Keller, Bare Knuckles. I gotta say something about it. I'll give my 2 cents on it. Now, when it comes to being an underappreciated or not well-known brand, I don't really know if Bare Knuckles really falls in this category, but I felt like I had to say something because on the first video that we did on this topic with the same title, I had over like 3 or 4 comments of people, you know, here and there just kind of shouting out the name Bare Knuckles, Bare Knuckles, Bare Knuckles. I had even people message me on Instagram saying, Bare Knuckles, why didn't you put Bare Knuckles in there? And to be honest, the first video I did, I really thought about putting it in there, but then I was like, man, like people know about Bare Knuckles, but I think what it is that the demographic of people that know about Bare Knuckles are not the same demographic of people that buy high fashion. And I don't know enough about his brand to consider it to be like, oh, this is strictly high fashion, oh, this is strictly like streetwear. Yeah, it's casual wear and it's stuff that really resembles who Jacob is. Again, I think the audience shift or like mentality of YouTubers that start a brand and then people that are not, you know, they don't tune into YouTube and all they do is buy high fashion all day. What are their perceptions of people like Jacob or brands like Bare Knuckles? And like I also said in the first video, I really just don't like to say this thing of like, oh, it's a YouTube brand. And I might be biased because I have a YouTube channel and I understand how much, you know, hard work and time it takes to like make a video, edit it, shoot it, and all these things, come up with the idea. It's like a full-time job basically. So I give so much credit to people like Jacob Keller and Bare Knuckles. So in that sense, I don't look at Bare Knuckles as if like, oh, it's just YouTube. Like it's a YouTube clothing brand name. And because also in all fairness, I've seen some of the videos, which I'm probably showing you here as well. I've also looked up a majority of his stuff on Grailed too. And a lot of people like resell his stuff for a lot of money. I mean, you got to think that if people really try to resell your stuff and make money off of it, there's got to be some value. I have yet to own any bare knuckles. I even texted Ray and I was like, hey man, like, you know, how is it, whatever. Because I really want that like acid wash t-shirt, because I'm kind of a sucker for like remade vintage tees. But he made a really good one, but I went on Grailed and it was like 130 bucks and I'm like, nah dude, like I'm not paying that. Like, not for one shirt, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how much that cost in retail, because again, I don't know enough about bare knuckles to talk about it like that, but what I can tell you is that people value it. I'm not gonna get up on camera and be like, it's super duper amazing quality. I've never even held it in my hand, so I don't know exactly, but if people resell the stuff, there's got to be value there, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, shout out to Bare Knuckles. It's a great brand, check them out. If you're like totally unaware, I would try to link it below or show some videos here. You get the point. Let's move on. Okay, for the next brand, I don't know how to pronounce this. It's a Korean brand, as far as I know, and it's called Hyenseo, I think. It's H-Y-E-I-N space S-I-O, Hyenseo. And this was recommended from Lowy, which is another name I hope I'm not chopping up. Shout out to Lowy, by the way. I was messaging you on Instagram. Hopefully you're watching this. Wait, I just have to intervene really quick. Hi Sanabayati actually did a segment on this brand. Hyenseo is the women's streetwear brand that you need in your wardrobe. And one thing I really wanted to point out, because I didn't say it in the video, is that the owner of the brand actually graduated from Fine Arts Antwerp College. It's like a fashion college as far as I know, and also Demna Vasalia and Martin Margiela were the ones that graduated from there, so it has some really good rep. I just wanted to add that to the video because I didn't put that in there. So back to the video. I asked her because I thought she had some good taste in clothing, and I'm like, hey, what's some underrated streetwear brand that you know? And she brought up this brand. So I don't know if it's all women's or not, and the reason why is because when you go on their Instagram, it looks like they have clothing for guys and for girls, because they don't just show all women. But the minute you get on their website, I don't really see any guys' clothes. So maybe this is more so for the girls that are watching this here, and I know I have like a really small percentage of females that watch my channel too. This is a good recommendation. I will say the pricing is expensive. This is like high-end stuff, and if I were to explain the brand, even though I don't know much about it, all I really know is that it's pretty much a Korean brand name. But the outside looking in perspective, the brand looks like a combination of streetwear, avant-garde, a little bit of like Yeezy season mixed in there. Also a combination of some of them kind of looking like costumes. And that's not, that's like in no offense. I'm saying costumes in a way where it sounds more like a creative type of thing when it comes to clothing brand names. That's just kind of like what I get out of this brand. Now when it comes to Hyenseo, I don't think it's a total loss for guys to look at this, because some of the pieces are very gender neutral. So, I mean, some of these like bomber jackets and the hoodies, like they're super oversized. It can go for a guy, it can go for a girl. It looks obviously fantastic on women as well, because you can see from these pictures that I'm showing you here. But I thought this was interesting, and I thought it was really cool. Now when I was talking to Lowy on Instagram, the person that recommended me to look at this, you know, she showed it to me and she said, like, you know, I can't wear this in the States, in America. And I found that like very interesting, right? Because maybe the perceptions are different of wearing American streetwear, if you consider this to be streetwear, or like American fashion compared to Korean fashion. I hear as of the past like 2 years, like Korea they've gone nuts with the whole streetwear, with the whole fashion. Like they're ahead of their time at the moment. Like people in Korea are what we looked at as Japan, probably like in the 90s and early 2000s, like way ahead of our time when it comes to like social acceptance for certain things in fashion. And I would definitely say that this brand is a good reflection of what I just talked about there. Her just like kind of mentioning that, I thought that was like a really interesting ideology of her not wanting to wear this type of stuff here because maybe she'll get ostracized. I don't think that's the case, but I will say that some of this is occasional. Some of it's not an everyday, you know, thing. When I talk about that costume look, some of this kind of looks like costume stuff that might not be good for just going out to have some coffee, depending on where you live. Really cool stuff. It's also a great inspo. that's the last thing I'll say about it. If you have your own brand, you're looking for something a little bit more edgy, this brand is a really good one to look at and be like, okay, like I see where they're going with the cuts and the silhouettes. Okay, next one I'm bringing up is another one that a lot of people commented on the last video and they were like, Mondays suck, Mondays suck, Mondays suck. Okay, we'll talk about it, but I'm not going to say much about it because I'm like, you know, my interpretation of the brand, super surface value. I know about them, and also I do think I know that I'm correct when I say this, is that I'm pretty sure Daryl is the one that owns this. Am I wrong? Someone please help me out here. I texted the person that owns Uniform Studios, and I'm pretty sure Uniform Studios and Mondays Suck, there's some correlation there. Hopefully I'm right on that. That's kind of what I remember someone telling me. But I would say surface value, looking at Monday Sucks, very good for everyday basics. Like super, super everyday, regular basics. Like let's just say you want a green hoodie, a black hoodie, it's got a white logo on it. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing crazy complicated. It's not like crazy cuts and fits and whatever, but it's your everyday basics that you definitely need from time to time. And I do happen to like the graphics that they choose, like this blue Pegasus shirt. I like that little logo that they got going on there. It's not that flashy. Quite a bit of variety when it comes to basics. It looks like they do sweats, they do flannels. When it comes to graphic tees, obviously they got that department covered for you. They even do accessories. Looks like they've done these like water bottles before, trousers as well. Yeah, I mean, check them out. Again, this is surface value. I don't know enough. I wish I knew more of like the context or the history of it. My guess is that this stuff is probably pretty quality as well. This plaid jacket is very nice. I like the plaid jacket. I do like the plaid jacket. Check them out. I mean, I'm kind of putting it out there because so many people in the last video was like bringing it up, and even people that DM me on Instagram. So it's worth mentioning. They do some great work. I believe they're in San Diego or somewhere in Southern California, maybe near LA, somewhere around there. So it's homegrown. Los Angeles, if you're from California, you know, or you're from the soil of the United States, it's probably made here, my guess, and or some of it's made in China, who knows. Oh, last thing about the brand, I love this new hat that they came out with. My guess is they probably used Yupong snapbacks. Those kind of look like Yupong snapbacks. Nothing wrong with Yupong. A lot of people fit into Yupong. It's like a very normal, basic fitting hat. But the logo that they chose to put on there, this like M with the wings on it, love it. Looks really, really good. I mean, I say that because I just like brands that are able to take like the first letter of the name and then use the letter in a dope logo that is, I wouldn't say it's like crazy unique, but it's unique enough to distinguish them from the next brand. And I appreciate this one. The M is really dope. The M is really dope. Okay, so the last brand I'm going to talk about as far as an underappreciated streetwear brand is got to be Double Taps. Double Taps. Double Taps. I don't know, Reggie, catch me in on this one if you're watching this. So just looking a little bit further into Double Taps, for those who don't know, I believe the creative side of the brand and why the designs are the way they are, because it comes from something called Mayudaku. Am I saying that right? Let's see if I'm saying that right. Miyadaiku. Oh man, I'm chopping that so hard. But this word is based on the philosophy of traditional Japanese carpenters, and that is like the ethos of this brand, and you could totally see it within the brand itself. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to be a carpenter, obviously, because Americana, a lot of people wear like wartime Americana clothes, and they didn't grow up in that era either. But again, this is kind of like the philosophy behind it. It's good to know. And also the better part about it, instead of going out there and buying like a whole bunch of fast fashion that may or may not look like this, you can buy into something that has a lot of context and a lot of history. And it comes from the 1990s, but also in addition, it comes from a designer that has a huge footprint in streetwear. Period. Don't need to say too much more about that. So anyway, save this one, best for last. This may or may not be one of the better options as far as some of the underappreciated streetwear brands that I talked about here today. I think you get it. All right, so closing this out, I do want more recommendations. I would love to hear more brand names. I mean, there was a lot of brands that people sent to me and I was kind of looking at them. Some of them were like not even developed. Some people sent me brands where I was looking at them and I'm like, they haven't dropped anything yet. I mean, no offense if you're the owner, but you know, I mean, send me something where there's some context here. As long as there's like a couple things out that I can take a look at, then we have something to work with, right? And it doesn't even have to be like 10 items. It could be one item. I'm seeing brands where it's like they make this one particular bag or hoodie or something, and then it's worth talking about on this platform, is that if you're going to give the name in the comments of a brand that you want me to know about or talk about in the future, put a link. Please put a link. Like, sometimes I, you know, get these comments or these like Instagram like messages and they'll just give me a name, and then I gotta do like the back-end research, because a lot of these brands or some of these brands are not very well known. So since they're not well known, I have to like dig for it. So instead of me digging for it, and if you want me to talk about it, put a link of their Instagram, of their website, what have you. I'll check it out. I'll give my 2 cents on it. And it just works more cohesively that way. I mean, I'm sure you get the points. So closing this video out, make sure you guys and girls keep it locked right here for our latest information from clothing, music, to culture. It is your boy Keezy, and I'm out. Peace.
You want to do, and it's just going to take a minute, but it's going to work out. Like if you try to cut corners and you put costumes on to do shit, yeah, you gonna get straight, but at what cost, you know what I'm saying? And how you feel. When you do this shit for you, 100% for you, you could grind and stay up for 5 or 6 days and not really be tired because it's for you.